Hello and welcome. I'm continuing my series of how to do financial modeling basics using the case studies from the old Financial Modeling World Championships. And today we are dealing with data cleansing, which I'm sure will be a grown moment for many of you. These kind of text manipulation cases have always been a relative area of strength for me, so I always liked it when they came up. But I know that this stuff scares some people. So the idea here is, in this particular case, we've got, usage data from a smart meter. So, at 3 p.m. on Monday, the 24th of March, 2014, we used 0.384 kilowatt hours. At 5 a.m. on the 15th of August, 2014, we used 1.201 kilowatt hours, and so on. So the idea is you've got 8,760 rows here, which is one row for each hour of each day in the year, but the order is scrambled and the data is scrambled. So instead of having, one nice, date, time, and kilowatt hours, you have instead this kind of mess of all jammed into one cell. So the main aim is to kind of clean it up, and then we're going to apply different tariffs. So, there's a flat rate tariff, there's a monthly flex tariff, and there's an hourly flex tariff. And we want to figure out which one would be most attractive for us based on our usage from here. I will say, as a quick aside, I recorded this whole video and then realized that my headset was not plugged in. So between me being annoyed about that and me having just gone through this not all that long ago once and having it all fresh in my head, the combination of those two effects is likely to mean that I'm going to go through this a little faster than normal today. I'm sure some of you will like that and some of you will not. If you have a preference, let me know. So let's start breaking up the data. First thing to notice is, I should say, I'm going to do this something like I, first did it when the case came up in 2014 right now. And then I'll spend a few minutes at the end on showing you kind of jazzier modern ways that you could do it, because Excel has moved on since 2014. But mostly I'm going to focus on the sort of more approachable version. So I'm just going to make a copy of this tab. So I'll call this old-fashioned, and then I'll make a copy, call it dynamic, and we'll come back to the copy later. So the first thing you might think is, okay, well, let's split it up, delimited text columns. We could split by a space, maybe also by an underscore, anything like that. You can very quickly see, even just the fact that, your kilowatt hours in different columns everywhere, it means that, what you need is all the hours in one place, all the dates in one place, all the usages in one place. So we're going to have to do some work with this data before we can get to that. So what are some things we can do to clean up? Well, first, we can get rid of these underscores here. So I'll just find and replace underscore, replace with space. Then once you've done that, you probably want to do a trim, if you know the trim function. Basically what trim does is it removes any kind of multiple spaces. So like here, there's two spaces in a row, it just replaces that with one. And if there's any spaces at the end, as there is here, or at the start, as there is here, it gets rid of those completely. So you end up with, text, one space, text, one space, text, one space. It's quite regular, and it's a lot easier to work with. If you don't know trim, you can also just find and replace space, space with space, and then do that again, and then do that again, until it says there's no more double spaces. And then you'd have to then also do a little bit of, left and right to handle, if the first character is a space, then, give me the whole thing except the first character. If the last character is a space, give me the whole thing except the last character. I did that in the first video, but now I'm just going to do trim and move on. Sorry, brief interruption there because somebody called me, but we're back recording. Okay, good. So like I said, I did demonstrate the non-trim way earlier, but now I'm feeling less patient, so I'm not going to do it again. I guess I'll leave it live linked for now. But no, I'm going to have to text columns it, so I'll just control value, copy value, paste. Okay, so now let's see if it behaves a little better when we go text columns. Don't need that other anymore. Finish, and you can see it's still kind of a little bit all over the place. So let's look at here. There's two more columns than here. So what's the difference? One is 3 and PM are two different things here. Here they're just one, 5 a.m. And the second thing is here we've got a day name before the date. Here we've just got the date. So we got to fix both of those before we can split it up. So one way you can do that is find and replace space PM with PM, find and replace space AM with AM. That gets rid of that space. And then we want to get rid of all the days. So get rid of Sunday, get rid of Saturday, get rid of Friday, not Friday, Friday, get rid of Thursday, get rid of Wednesday, get rid of Tuesday, get rid of Monday. And then you'll see there's also some Monds and Thus for Thursday and so on. So then we need to go through it all again. Get rid of Sunday, get rid of Saturday, get rid of Friday, get rid of Thursday, get rid of Wednesday. And by the way, if going through this doesn't fill you with an appreciation for the dynamic solution I'm going to show you later, I don't know what will. Okay, and then now that we've done all that, we need to do the same thing again. Find and replace double space with single space. That's all good. So now let's try it. Delimited, space, finish. So we're very close now. If you look in here, it's almost all kilowatt hours. And what's the difference? The difference is these ones here, where kilowatt hours doesn't have a space, so it's not being split. So that's easy to fix. Just replace kWh with space kWh. And then again, replace double space with space to trim it again. And now we can Alt AE, next, space delimited, finish. And so here we've got our number of kilowatt hours, and these are all numbers. Here we've got our hours of the day, and here we've got our dates. So what can we do with the dates? Oh, interesting, you can see it's already converted some of them into dates, but it hasn't done it for the ones that have a th. So let's get rid of the th. What else? Whoops, sorry, what else is still not a date? We've got urds in there. Get rid of those. And we've got, I see an st in there. And there's probably an and in there somewhere as well. Let's just see. Oh yeah, lots of nds. Get rid of those. And now we can see everything is a date in 2014, which is exactly what you want. You could do other kind of quick sanity checks, like, do all 365 days appear? Yes. Do they all appear 24 times? Because they should. And they do. So that seems to be basically working. Now we just need to do something to work with this time. And what can we do for that? Well, first I guess let's label time. So we'll do hour as a number, AM, PM, and then we'll do hour, 24 hour. We've got date here, we've got usage, just call it kilowatt hours. Get rid of the label. Okay, so the hour is a number. Again, we can just replace question mark M, either AM or PM, with blank, or you can do the two separately. Obviously also works. Then you could do this with a formula, or you could say FA PM for contains PM, put in PM, and then FA AM for contains AM, put in AM there. So now, the way you can do this is you can say this plus if this equals PM, then we add another 12, otherwise 0. And so, for example, 3 p.m. becomes 15, 1500 is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The thing you have to be careful of is the 12s. So 12 p.m. Becomes 24, but that's not actually what you want, because 24, again, on a 24-hour clock, 24 or 0 is midnight, but 12 p.m. is actually noon. So just on the off chance that you're not familiar with this, let's just do sequence 24, and we'll do time of this hour, and a number of minutes and seconds. Copy the formatting down. So what you can see is, sort of hours 1 through 11 are 1 through 11 a.m., and you can add 12 to those to get the p.m. But 1 hour after 11 a.m. is not 12 a.m., it's 12 p.m., so that it switches over at noon, at midday. So to get the 24-hour hour, you basically two options. You can either wrap this in a mod, which will turn the 12 into 0. So here, for example, you can see this 12 here has become a 0, and this 12 p.m. has become a 12. Or if you don't know mod, you can just say minus if b2 equals 12, then 12, otherwise 0. And then you can quickly check what are the different hours you've got here. Sorry, well, anyway, you can see that there are 24 of them. And then I guess let's, since I'm being old school and manual about it, what I often do is just copy value paste, Alt AM, remove. Let's sort by this. What I can see is my 0 is 12 a.m., 1 is 1 a.m., 2 is 2 a.m., 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then my 12 is 12 p.m., which is noon. 13 is 1 p.m., 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that seems to be working correctly. Get rid of the extra tab that I threw in there. And that's it. So now we're ready to answer some questions. So what are the questions? What is your average hourly electricity usage? So I think there's 7 questions as far as I remember. So we want average of this, and I think we want 3 decimal places. 0.782, that's B. What's your average electricity usage per hour in February? So just, I guess I'll put it next to the date, month. So you can either use the month function to extract a month from that. Be careful. What's going on here? The month is March, but it's showing me January. This is crazy. What's going on here is this is a number 3, because March is month number 3, but it's formatted as a date. And Excel thinks of dates as the number of days since the 1st of January 1900. So 3 is the 3rd of January 1900. So we just need to convert that to general. And that's your month. Or your alternative option is you can month text. So you can text this month. Sorry, let's freeze panes so we can keep all that there. Okay. So in either case, you can just say average ifs usage, where take your pick. Let's go here, where month is Feb. That's 0.833, which is here, option D. Okay, question 3. Which day of the week has the highest average usage? So again, same deal. You can either work out a weekday, but if you do, just be careful because depending on how you use the weekday function, there are lots of different ways that the days might actually be numbered. Or you can text date like this, day text. So then for this, we're going to need text sequence 7. So those are the 7 different possibilities, and we want average ifs for each of those. Average of usage, where the day is this. And then you can either just kind of eyeball it. You can select them all and look in the status bar and see the max is 0.9. That's right there. Or if you want to be more systematic, you can XLOOKUP some number that's going to be bigger than any of those. Let's say 100 in here, returning from here. And match mode is going to be exact match or next smaller item. And that's just going to return the one that matches the largest item in there. That's Sunday, which is answer A. Okay, question 4. What's the highest amount of electricity used in a continuous 4-hour period? So for this, we're going to have to sort the data. Sort by first the date, and then the hour, 24-hour. Oldest, newest, smallest to largest, that looks good. So we start off at the hour from 12 a.m. On 1st of January, which is, in other words, midnight on the 1st of January. Fine, good. Now, there's a slight ambiguity here, I guess. I don't think it actually spelled out in the question if it's the hour starting from or the hour ending at. But you can kind of imply it from the way this tariff is written. The hourly flex is the hour from 12 a.m. until 1 a.m. So you can kind of infer from that that this is the hour starting at 12 a.m. If you take the opposite interpretation, that basically shifts this hour to the end of the day, and it probably changes the usage answer, so you could also check it that way. But for our usage, so for the first three, it's just NA, and then say sum of this, copy that down, consistent format, and we're interested in the max of that, which is 17.237, which is answer A. Okay, and then for the last three questions, we're interested in the tariffs. So we got three different tariff options. We got no flex, monthly flex, and hourly flex. Monthly flex and hourly flex. So no flex is just going to be your usage times the dollars per kilowatt hour. No flex, as the name suggests, just keep it the same all the time. Monthly, capital. Monthly flex is going to be this times index based on the number of the month from here. I kind of wrote that formula backwards. I put in this argument first so that I could put in all the arguments I have on this tab, then go over to the other tab. Let me just quickly show you what happens if you don't do that. So then I would say my usage times index, come over here, select that range. Then I would come back here, take my month number. So what's the difference? Not a lot, but it's added the tab name here. Two things about that. One is just I find it aesthetically displeasing, but the more important one is having the tab name pre-pended to your cell reference changes the way that this behaves if you sort your data. I'm not going to go into all the detail on that now, but just trust me, don't do that. If Excel helpfully offers to stick the tab name in front of it because you've been to another tab and come back, get rid of it, or do a find and replace for the tab name in the format that it appears if you do that, but that is considered harmful. Okay, let's just apply this number format to all of these. And then the hourly flex. So let's see, 12 a.m. is the first one. So it's basically going to be the row number in this. The row number in this table that we're interested in is going to be the hour number plus 1. So in other words, hour 0 is row 1, hour 1 is row 2, and so on down. So that will be kilowatt hours times index. And again, when I do the kind of backward formula writing, what I often do is press Alt Enter to take me down to a new line. Then point at the hour plus 1, and that just gives me, rather than, if I don't do that, now I've kind of written to the end of the formula, and now I'm trying to land my mouse right in that small gap. If I do that, I just click anywhere in this line. That gives me what I need there. Gives me the spot I need. Hit F4. You can press delete to bring it back to one line, or not. It doesn't matter. Excel doesn't care. That's the hourly flex. And let's just do a quick total for each option. Copy. Okay, so now we can answer questions. Question 5. What would your annual cost of electricity be under the monthly flex? The answer is that, which is 21.82B. What would your cost be under the hourly flex? That's this one. So 69.36, which is A. And finally, based on your historic electricity usage, which of the three contracts would produce the lowest annual cost? So obviously you can just eyeball it here and say it's the hourly one, or again, if you want to be a little fancier, or be flexible for when the data changes later or whatever, you can XLOOKUP 0 in here, returning from here, with exact match or next larger item. And so the closest match to 0 will be the lowest number, which is this, and it'll return the corresponding value, which is hourly flex. That is answer C. So quick check, BDAA, BAC. BDAA, BAC. Cool. All right, so that's all good. So that's the kind of main part of the question. Now, like I said, let me just quickly show you how you might do some of this dynamically. So say original data. So let's just kind of think through the steps that we went through initially. First, we removed the underscore. We removed the what do you call it? We removed the weekdays. So again, I'll just text sequence 7. Again, Excel thinks of dates as the number of days since starting from the 1st of January 1901. So sequence 7 is just the numbers 1 to 7, but that's also, if you think of them as dates, it's the first 7 days in January of 1900, which is 7 consecutive days. So if I format that as this, it gives me the names of each of the days. And now it's important to get the order right. First, you want to get rid of the days with the full names. Then you want to get rid of the days with the short names. Otherwise, you get left with stubs. Sun, mun would just leave you with day. Choose would leave you with zday. Wednesday would leave you with nesday, and so on. Then we also got rid of the and, bird, and ist. And we can also get rid of the kilowatt hour. We can get rid of the AM. We can get rid of the PM. That's probably enough for now. So these are all the things we want to get rid of. A nice kind of way to do that, to do sort of to do a series of removals, is using the reduce function. So what's the idea? You say reduce, start from this, and then you basically apply a function to whatever you started from and each value from here in turn. So you do something to the starting value with to the starting input with the first value, then whatever comes out of that, you do something to that with the second value, you do something to that with the third value. And so in this case, the something is replace this with a space. But we have to put that in function language. So we want to say the function that takes your accumulated everything so far and your new value and returns substitute in the accumulated so far with the value to space. And the kind of function language for that in Excel is just lambda. So lambda of A, which is everything you've accumulated, V is the new value, and substitute A, V, space. That gives you that. Then you can trim that. And then you can text split that. Sorry. That. Okay. I'm going to add one more thing in here. So, sorry, just to show you. So right now, this is splitting up the date partially. I'd rather split up the date entirely. So do it that way. And then let's see, you could, well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of done now, right? There's, or all done bar the shouting, as they say. Oh, sorry, I've got to lock this reference. Otherwise, it will not carry down correctly, which is why you can see all the rest of them messed up. So then it's hour, number, day, month, year, kilowatt hours, and then you can kind of put everything back together much the same way as you did before. So we just do date time. So let's see, I think I did the date value. Oh no, here I just did, just find and replace, just did it. So all right, let me show you quickly 2 ways to turn this into a date. Option 1 is you can say date value, this and this and this. So basically, convert this into a date. Sorry, gotta get the whole thing. Convert it into a date string, which is going to look like, Why isn't it showing me my preview? Maybe it's because it expects me to be down here. Not showing me preview here either. I don't understand that. Anyway. Okay, well, anyway. So if I hit F9, that converts into 24 March 2014, and you can feed that into date value, and it'll output a date. So that's one way to do it. The second way to do it is date bold. Is you want to be able to say date of some year, some month, and some day, except that's going to error out because it's expecting the month to be a number. So let's just add in month number. And the easiest way to do that is to have another lookup over here, months, which is going to be text, date, 2023, sequence 12, 1, MMM. So that's the months in order. Just highlight that as a lookup table as well. So then you can just say X match this against that. And then replace this reference with this reference. And that's another way, which for some reason it defaults to a different date format, but whatever. You can quickly kind of check these, give the same thing, and that equals that. And they do have days. I said date time, so then you can also say plus time. So again, it's going to be mod this 12 plus if is number, or let's just say is number, find PM in here times 12. It's all right. So that's the first argument of time, and then minute and second we can leave blank. And again, I had combined. Did I? No, I didn't even do a combined date time over there. So let's do a combined date time format. So there's a time format. We could just have to grab a date format. That's my preferred one. Okay. So there's your date time, and then everything else kind of follows on in the same way as before. All right, that's all I got for today. Still slightly raging that I had to do it twice, but I'll be back on Friday with some fun with snakes and ladders, doing some minor formatting here. And that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.